Hello, travelers. Welcome back to the next episode of The Last of Us. Let me tell you what, today's been a day. Woke up, spent the first several hours of my morning and day with my gal pal helping a friend move, then immediately got on the road to run a kind of like cool cosplay related errand for said gal pal, which has us, we were on the road for, not counting our stop there at our location, like 5 hours. Now I'm back. It is starting to get late. Not too late, but it's late. I got a little tonight we got bullet bourbon on deck, so definitely gonna decompress with that. I feel like I'm tired and driven enough. Like I knew I was gonna do this no matter what, and now I feel like I'm kind of in that that emotional state that Ellie's probably in right now. So let's get this, huh? 3 episodes in. I know that whether you're a fan of the game like myself and have played it, or if you're a fan of you've only seen the show and experienced the trauma and gut punch and heartbreak of the last episode for the first time, I think we all felt the same emotions. I know. I had some words about the episode, but don't get it twisted. Here's the thing. I want to clarify. I still really enjoy the episode. I think so far it's still an excellent adaptation. Well, let me put it this way. I think that season 2 in a vacuum has been a very good show, if not still, very good, fantastic episodes, moments, etc., etc. I was only offering critique in regard to making the comparison of it being an adaptation compared to how they chose to adapt it with season 1. They're definitely taking some liberties and creative narrative choices. They're not like show ending terrible type of stuff, but I have my own little gripes here and there. A couple Patreon comments real quick. Some fair points to the contrary. One thing that packs the main punch in storytelling in video games stems from the player having agency. Not only do you play as different characters, but you feel their difference. They have different opinions, features, handling, and paths available to them. You can come to tangibly identify with them, to a degree, as the game developers design your in-game choices to be limited to the character's limitations. TV doesn't really have the same set of tools to allow the audience to identify with anyone introduced later than the protagonist. The audience are passive viewers, not agents. They are locked in on Joel and Ellie. If you underappreciate just how much the medium of a video game does for the multifaceted storytelling here, it's easy to arrive at a critique of the differences between the game and the show being unnecessary hand-holding. In my view, the differences are a necessary workaround to the limitations inherent to TV. You look pained watching some of that, which is a shame because they're doing an amazing job trying to meticulously craft Last of Us 2 experience to TV without having all the tools required to tell the story. How they're working around that is remarkable enough by itself to make the show interesting, which I do agree with to a point, and I did kind of have a way of addressing it, which I get it. I'm not trying to say that I don't think they're doing a good job. I just had mixed feelings, and the way that I feel about it is I wish they had the same approach to season 1 they did with season 2. I get the challenge of trying to tell the 30-hour story over the course of, like, how are we going to tell this over one season of TV? I don't know, maybe make it more than 7 episodes long, call me crazy. I don't know. Like, I know there's a method to their madness. The season's not even over yet, so I'm reserving overall judgment till I see how they plan on executing everything. So I was just offering my critique in the moment, but those are good points to be made, and I do appreciate. I gave mucho buco props to the creators in how they made the episode, but some people agreed with me. I think, unfortunately, too many game players sent death threats to Laura Bailey. Yeah, I get that. They're really trying to make sure that Caitlin Dever, not Carol Danvers, Caitlin Dever is not, as put upon as poor Laura Bailey was and all of that. Bloater was not CGI, by the way, a 6'5" stuntman in a costume, which is amazing. I love it. Someone did say the non-gamers don't have the game to compare it to, so we feel the same gut punch gamers felt while playing. I'm glad the non-gamers are enjoying it. I think I was just concerned because there's people that I would love to experience the story of Last of Us Part 2, and because either they don't want to play it, that's fair, or they don't have the patience to sit through, a 8-hour cutscene compilation or a 30-hour playthrough of mine, understandable as well. Time is constrained these days. This is the most digestible format for them, so I'm not trying to gatekeep the game at all. I want everybody to experience it however they can, but I guess part of me is being a purist. I'm glad the experience is still worthwhile and is still kind of getting everybody to the same place, but I'm a purist in the sense where I want you to experience the same journey that I went on, and aspects of that journey being altered for the sake of making it more accessible in a mainstream show. It's like a necessary evil. Like, I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. Perhaps I'm just being emotionally driven by my nostalgia for the game, as it were. But I want to make sure everybody has the closest to the amazing experience that I had. So when things are different, I'm glad to hear it's still a good one. But then part of me is like, oh, but it could have been so much. Could have been so much greater.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
I will say, in HBO's defense, all Ellie is going to know is that she was once a Firefly from Dina, because it's all that was really said prior to them knocking her out. We as an audience know, but she'll still have the journey for us to follow along with. That is a very good point. Honestly, I think the characters look more like their actual ages in this live action version. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but I love both games, and the second one's my favorite. It's one of my favorite games ever, but I do feel like they made the characters look a little older than they should have been. I don't know, because you don't really get a good look at the Salt Lake crew. There's not really a flashback with the Salt Lake crew, right? Like, the flashback you get with Abby is her father and then a obviously younger Owen, which makes sense. The younger members of the crew that you're referring to, like, they took them out, right? Like Jordan and Leia, and then there's the one other guy, was it Danny, I think is his name? I guess they all look the youngest-ish, definitely Jordan and Leia. But I mean, I feel like for the characters of Abby, Owen, Mel, and Manny to be not like middle-aged, but older, it makes sense. Or maybe just the way the world turned, like you say right here, maybe it was done on purpose to help people feel like they had more grit and maturity. Trauma can make people mature much faster than they would otherwise. Yeah, I feel that. It's not that I take issue with the actors, it's more like casting wise, some of them fit and some of them don't quite fit the mold, the version that I know to be these characters, but I'm open to it, right? Like, I like Tati Gabrielle, right? I love her. I think she's great. So her, I think, Nora, yeah. I think her as Nora is a excellent choice, personally. Yeah, people are saying basically the reason the structure's all turned around from the game is because we had the limitations of TV, which makes sense. I get it. I completely agree with you on the writing decisions and them being too upfront about Abby's motives. My tinfoil hat theory is that they changed it because they didn't want people to project their hatred for Abby onto Caitlin Dever. In the behind-the-scenes doc of the second game, Neil Druckmann talked about, yeah, exactly. If you haven't watched that, there's was it Grounded? There's two documentaries. There's one about the making of Last of Us Part 1. I find the one for the making of Last of Us Part 2, which I think is called Grounded 2. I find it's a very fascinating watch. It's free on YouTube. It's 2 hours, but it's basically a documentary covering the inception of the creation, the making, all up until the leaks happen and the game comes out. It's an excellent doc, and it really does, I think it sheds some light, not only on the creative process over at Naughty Dog, but it really, like, if you kind of were upsetty spaghetti about that situation, or if you weren't 100% familiar, it's a good watch. It clues you into some information if you hadn't already heard it before. I think a bunch of new fans have kind of cropped up for this show. I remember when I reacted to the first season, that was back when I was just starting to branch out into reaction content. Like this and Beef, aside from movies, right? They were the first shows, like the series reactions I put on here. I thought it was fitting how Last of Us had to be one of the first, because I was like, there's no way that I can't watch this show and not record my experience for posterity or talk about the show as it goes on. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you want early access to these, by the way, and I mean also full uncut, uncensored HD video reactions, uninterrupted, nothing like that. Patreon.com/MovieMan101. That's how you get full access to the commentary, and it also helps support the channel. You know, the more people I have on Patreon, the faster I can get this churned out, mainly because I'm like shoveling more and more content to my editor, who's been helping me crank some of these reactions out. I'm actually able to get them out a lot faster than I would if it was just me going solo. So otherwise, if you're on YouTube watching these, it's more than enough. Appreciate the love and support. Bear with me as I have to censor, edit, and heavily transform this to get it to go online in the first place. But liking the video helps out a lot. Commenting below for the algorithm, you know, whether you're just saying hello, whether you're agreeing or disagreeing. I always welcome disagreements and love to have conversation and discourse. Like, dissenting opinion is what keeps the world going around. As long as there's no like hatred, right? No hatred or vitriol. If we're having a productive conversation centered around a disagreement, that's chill, you know? A cold open, that's nice. Oh God, the Battle of Jackson is done. I believe this is a track from the game too, musically. once they killed off the remaining infected, just mountains of charred corpses. God, the stench must be. I'm curious to see how Bella Ramsey handles the... Oh God. Imagine that your brother beaten to death and then dumped in your... He's my damn brother. God. And then to see him like that, dude, that's scarring, traumatic. Big brother known your whole life, and that's what happened to him. I am glad about this. I'm glad that Tommy's getting more focused too, because in the game, I mean, Tommy is... Gee, by the time we go through our journey, Tommy's like a broken man. It's really a shame. It's depressing. So I love the addition of this scene. I love this. Not because I'm like happy about it. Like I cleans up his brother. At least he gets, if you believe in all that afterlife, gets to be with his daughter at least.
Give Sarah my love.
Mm. Am I already gonna cry like a minute in? Jesus. But like we talked about in the game, and or after the game came out, and we talked about after the second episode, as sad as it is, Joel Miller was no saint. He's trying to... oh my God, that scared me. That's the thing, is like toward the end of his life, right? I wouldn't even say he found redemption necessarily. He had lost his humanity. He was a shell of a man, just grunting, you know, taking him in tests, just doing what they had to do to survive and such. And then after meeting Ellie, kind of like slowly regaining that kind of part of his humanity and learning to like love and care again and try to be a good human being. But let's not forget, there were 20 years, just for context. I mean, this isn't even a spoiler. It's just facts from the first season of the first game. There was a 20-year stretch from losing Sarah to meeting Ellie where he was on both sides. He even says as much when they get to Pittsburgh.
How did you know
Know what?
about the ambush?
I've been on both sides.
He's tortured, he's beaten people, killed many, many people, good and bad, like those that, you know, deserved it or didn't. It's tragic, but we would always talk about it afterwards. Like, as much as some of us love Joel Miller and just, you know, who he was when we picked him up, I mean, he was no saint. He died. The fact that after all said and done, he gets a little bit of humanity back and then is subsequently tracked down and beaten to death as a result of his arguably selfish actions. It's, in a tragic sense, a fitting end. You might even say he had it coming. Like, I love Joel as a character as well, don't get me wrong. I was shocked and very sad when he went down, feeling as outraged as Ellie was. But at the end of the day, it's a fitting end. It makes sense that, you know, after everything he's said and done, his past caught up with him. Even the shorter past, not the longer past, and it's, you know, beaten to death kind of tracks. Now we cut to the triage unit over here. Oh God. Oh, I guess she was kicked. Maybe he broke a rib. She was kicked in the stomach, pretty hard there, and then it all comes flooding back in. Regardless of any notes I had in the last episode, I'm not prepared for this journey. Jeez, every time that I go back into Last of Us Part 2, like, I'm glad I can show somebody new the game or I get to play through it again, but it's not a journey for the faint of heart, man. But Jackson rebuilds 3 months later. Wait, dude, another major change, right? If she's still there, there's Tommy right there. Dude, what? They are really changing it up. I mean, okay, that's fine. For context, I mean, this isn't spoilers because now we're like past the part that it would be. In the game, she leaves like a day or two later. Like, it's still winter and she packs up her kit and caboodle, then skadoodles. Dude, what's funny is I don't even need to take notes anymore because I'm just familiar enough. Oh, Jesse, hello. I'm familiar enough with the show where I can just like talk about it. I do like the focus on Jackson. Bro's going in. Show all.
So can I just...
Almost. I just needed to see one more person, then you're good to go.
So they kept her in the hospital for... Oh, Gail? Oh, no.
How are you doing?
Oh,
Fine.
Peachy.
If you say it that fast, it kind of implies you're not.
Okay, ask me again.
How are you doing, Ellie?
Give me a moment. It's really complicated because, feelings.
Okay.
Oh, come on, man. I've been stuck in here since...
Interesting. So they held her in the hospital.
Yeah, I miss him. He meant a lot to me. So, yeah, upset and sad.
But I was actually wondering about New Year's Eve. You two got into it at the dance. Was that the last time you spoke to him?
No.
Yeah.
No, see, we know she had that
I
conversation.
got home, he was on the porch, and I should have talked to him. But I didn't.
Do you regret that?
Yeah, of course.
Something tells me that she's keeping that conversation. I'm gonna benefit of the doubt. There's no shot that Porcine's not there. And why would she say she is upset as spaghetti as she was the night of the dance to then have Jesse talk about it the next morning and then she's like, okay, we're complicated, but we're cool now. We're cool now. It's all right. I think she had the talk, but she doesn't want to tell Gail about the talk. That was a conversation between her and Joel, and that's what matters. So I think we'll eventually get that revelation, but right now she's just lying to Gail.
In my last moment with Joel, he said he wronged you. Maybe bad.
What is it that he said that he did?
He said,
Well, that's the thing. It didn't really make sense.
oh boy.
He said, I saved her.
No idea what he meant. I don't feel wronged. Man, I wish I could have let him off the hook for whatever it was he was talking about. I guess I'll have to let myself off the hook for that.
Well, you really are doing good.
I was about to say she's just playing it up for Gail. Otherwise, these would be like
Everyone was healthy
wacky
as you.
wacky
What I do
deliveries.
for weed and booze.
I wouldn't worry, Gail. There's still a lot of f***ed up people in this town.
Yeah. But not you, though.
No, Ellie's right as rain up there. She leaves right away in the game, but in this 3 months go by, the seasons have officially changed. We're in spring now. I like this shot. Face then the mask comes off. Hits her a bit more there. I am really, really curious and in a morbid sense excited to see how she shows trauma. Like how she's gonna play this. Oh yeah. Like in the game. Walk up and all the flowers and the misuse and all that in his house. Part hit me so hard when I was playing it. They got the layout pretty good. Dining room. Yeah, no, this is it looks like the house. I know there's like one shot, but I'm just. Is she gonna find his wood carvings? Oh. Oh wait, no. He said I never. Oh yeah, like wood carving. He said I never should have let her move to the garage. So I think she had the bedroom in there with him at some point, and then because she was that age and they're not exactly related, she wanted her own space. It's crazy. I never realized until now, like fully. I don't know why, but like she was living in Joel's garage. That should have like clicked for me, but I guess I never put two and two together. I thought she just had a space nearby. Yeah, his wood carving hobby. I love they kept that in. He had a passion, a talent. Oh. Go through someone's personal belongings post-mortem. I've been there. Talked about him before, but I lost my best friend, the guy I started this channel with, and we had to go through his belongings. Just like the game. His jeans, his watch. And my favorite kind of gun, revolver. I remember in the game, I picked up that revolver and I was like, this is the gun I'm going to use to kill Abby with. And there you go. That meant so much to me. The fact that you get to get his revolver in the game and then it becomes your other sidearm. It's like, meant so much. Oh my god, playing the game. When you smell somebody. Because I got some of my friend's clothing after he died, and you could still smell him for hell months afterward. In this shot, she does look more mature right here. Like she looks older somehow. Like with her hair done this way too. In this profile shot, I see more Ellie. Well, this would be the part in the game where she's about to go, and then Maria has a conversation with her. But I feel like it's gonna just be her and Dina at that dining room table down there. Again, props to Isabella Merced. Dina's a great
Made
friend.
Cookies?
Aww.
Just cuz? No. This is a peace offering. Because I'm about to make you angry.
Oh. She's taking the Maria placeholder here.
When you asked me about that day,
You didn't tell
I
her.
told you I didn't learn anything useful.
Now she's going to divulge the information.
That wasn't true. I know most of their names, and I know where they're from. Knew that if I told you where they were, you'd just start pulling your tubes out and crawling on your hands and knees to get there.
I don't give a fuck. You cost us time. You let them get away.
They already got away, technically.
This town was wreckage and funerals for weeks. Nobody was going to go after anyone. And then it occurred to me that if you want to find someone and the only thing you know about them is where they're going to end up, maybe let them get there.
Yeah. Let them think they got away with it. Some months have gone by. No one's pursued them yet.
I loved him too, you know.
Oh. You might want a cookie. Should you put the weed in them at least? I hate oatmeal raisin. Oh, chocolate chip? Is that a chocolate chunk cookie?
It's a double chunk chocolate cookie!
5 big booms.
Okay.
3, 4.
Let's start with names. The dark-haired guy was Manny. The other guy was Owen.
The girl with the dark hair and the bald one of them's named Nora. I'm not sure which.
The girl with the braid.
Abby.
Abizzle for Rizzle.
Abby.
The internet right now.
Washington Liberation Front.
The wolves.
Out of Seattle.
WLF. Wolf. F***ing morons.
My guess is this episode will either end with them leaving for Seattle, or it's gonna maybe end with them getting to Seattle. Is she gonna check with Tommy? When it comes to these changes, I'm okay with these changes. Like literally, the only change that I haven't liked so far is the structuring of the Abby information reveal, which tinfoil hat theory, I understand it. I think that the scene and the episode in which it all went down, like the execution and it's effective and dramatic, but I just personally don't like how they adapted that for TV. But that being said, so far these changes, this works. It makes sense. Like, I'm not mad she didn't go immediately after. She had a grievous injury. She I think cracked rib. And so, some months go by, Jackson rebuilds, she heals up, time has passed. That doesn't affect the story too dramatically, in my opinion. Either way, once you get to Seattle, the seasons are going to change. It's a different climate over there. So, I mean, narratively speaking, we're on the same ground. And the fact that doing it this way also gives more time to show Jackson. We have the new character of Gail come back in. I loved seeing Tommy further fleshed out in this. I felt like there needed to be more Tommy in season 1. And even though there's more Tommy in the second game, right, there's room for even more development. So this is what I'm talking about when I say I like this type of adaptation, where it's similar but different. Kind of the same core narrative is happening. There's changes being made, but they're not affecting how these moments transpire. Like, I'm not, you don't see me getting pissed off that, oh,
Right after the incident happened, she went right to his house, and then her and Dina were there, and then Maria shows up and tries to just kind of give her a warning before she goes because Tommy already left. Like,
they changed that, and now we got that scene with Tommy cleaning up his brother post-mortem, and more character, more moments. I'm 100% up for this. This is great adaptation in my opinion. And I had a feeling we'd bounce back. For me anyway.
Gotta think about this.
Think about what? Let's f***ing get these guys.
Ellie, it ain't that simple. The town is still recovering. So are you.
We get where you're coming
No,
from.
we don't get where you're coming from. I don't get where you're coming from. If it had been you, Joel would be halfway to Seattle before the sun came up.
He'd be halfway to Seattle to save my life. But when we lost people, no. We'd just break him like it was his fault. I saw that time and time again, and don't talk to me like I didn't know him. He was my brother.
My goddamn brother.
I'm not saying you shouldn't do this. But if we're gonna put a posse together, we gotta do it right. Which means taking it to Maria. She's gonna want a council meeting, open it up to the town. Everyone who wants to get heard gets heard.
Yikes.
But you'll back us, right?
Of course I will.
Or he just runs off by himself. In the game, he's like, I'll go talk to Maria. And then because it's his brother, he is the first one to leave. That's what's so impactful about it. Like, Ellie's right. Like, even though what happened, happened, he's the first one to take off. And Maria's like, I can't stop you. There's a horse. Go take it. Go get him. And then Maria, in this heartbreaking moment, is just like,
Just do me a favor and Bring my dumbass husband home in one piece, please.
And I feel like they're still possibly queuing up for that moment. See, now, is he actually going to go to council, or is he going to just hoof it?
Buried our dead 10 miles south of town. If you want to visit them.
He knows how much.
We're on our way to Seattle.
10 miles outside of town is pretty deep. In the game, he's just in town. There's like a cemetery, like literally a few yards from his house. Oof. A hard cut. That. Oh, are we Seattle? We're in Seattle now. That was like a commercial hard cut right there. Seraphites, scars. Here we go. I don't know if the microphone can pick that up or not. There. Oh, yep. Wee wee wee. Someone goes down. Wee. It's a smart system and it's chilling, dude. It's when you first are introduced to the Seraphites, as the wolves call them, the scars. When you first encounter Seraphites, I love the way they cue it up. You know, when you fight WLF soldiers or whatever, they're just like, Frank, get down, they're flanking us, oh my god, George, get her, like all that. But these guys, they don't talk, they just like whistle, and you're like, what are the commands? Like, you eventually learn that there's like kind of different whistles for different commands. You pick it up as the game goes on. But
Why can't you tell me where we're going?
Because we don't know yet. I told you the reason we're going.
I know, but why can't she just keep us safe?
The prophet?
She watches over us.
She's been dead 10 years, Constance. I wouldn't count on her to help.
But Ezra said the prophet is eternal.
Well, she is in a way.
Kind of giving it away up front.
Prophet isn't magic. They're just people that see truths hidden from others and share that truth no matter what the cost. So it was with our prophet.
So it was.
That's how we keep her spirit alive.
The greater good.
All her words.
How can this be for the greater good?
The greater good. We obey her teachings, but we keep ourselves safe.
So this is an interesting choice. It's interesting how everything to do with Seattle is being front-loaded and dished out immediately, right? I've delved deep into the details about, you know, Abby and the Salt Lake crew, and the fact that they're not even introduced until way later in the game, after the mystery in the beginning and the whole, you know, violence and bloodshed. With Seraphites, like, as you're trying to hunt down Abby and her crew in Seattle, you slowly discover them. But first you discover, like, the tableaus, the messages of, like, feel her love here and there. And this woman, this, like, clearly a leader of some type of religious sect or a cult, right? And it adds a layer to the mystery. Again, this one I'm not as upset about, because, like, you're going to introduce this group of strangers that have these identifiable markings, this similar clothing, and show that they obviously have a prophet and some other like secular religion, right? But I still like how the game handles it a bit better, because as you're going through it, there's the mystery of like, okay, like when I first played the game, I assumed the prophet was still alive and that they had a leader, right? Because you're like, okay, they're acting together as a unit. They're old-fashioned people. They only use they don't like old world tech. Like they don't want to use technology or anything like that. They build their own and that's why they have like hammers and pickaxes and bow and arrows and whatnot. Sins of the old high-tech world they want to avoid. But all that to say, they have a prophet, but you assume that she's alive for like so long that there's somebody leading them. Eventually, like way later in the game, you find out that yeah, she's been dead for a while, and they're just so committed to the cause and furthering it from generation to generation, and they're just persisting in their own religious ideology. It's a cooler way to find that out. It's just, oh, their leader's been dead. Like, she's a prophet, but she was a prophet turned martyr. Again, this is kind of the pattern of season 2, is to just kind of reveal that information right up front. And I guess that could be explained because it's a TV show, not a game. But at the same time, I know TV shows that still wait to show their hands. So I think it's kind of a valuable argument there. But uh-oh.
Take cover!
Here we go. Is there a patrol moving through?
Demons?
Wolves.
Wolves of the Kala.
Good, but rotate. More.
The Matrix.
Now the right side.
Just the right side. There it is. Okay.
I can appreciate this. I am by no means a professional at all, but as exercise, I do box, and I appreciate this. He's actually training her up, so she's not just, you know, good with basic fighting and knifing and gunplay, but like actual boxing. So yeah, gotta hit him with a couple of the jab, jab, cross, 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 jab, jab. Get some hooks in there, uppercuts. Gotta start doing some sprawls.
Done for the day.
Burpees.
Heard you're on the council now.
Yep.
Oh,
So you know about the meeting coming up.
this is development.
Can I count on you?
Can't discuss upcoming votes.
Oh.
Seriously, it's me.
Here's a little advice. Organize your thoughts, write them down, and then read them out loud tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, because I'm stupid.
No,
Because you're angry, Ellie. And no one's gonna vote for angry.
That's great. That is. See, Jesse's a real one. He's on her side. If this is something that's gonna happen, they're not gonna listen to someone who's like,
We gotta get out there and kill them. How could you not do anything about this?
you gotta be rational, provide like facts, logic, like whatever you can to try to get them on your side. You gotta seem level-headed and rational, not like on a vendetta, a quest for pure vengeance.
Next is Rachel.
Sit down, Scott.
Joel meant so much to so many of us,
Oh.
but he wasn't the only one. I lost my sister that day. A lot of people in here buried family. And now you want to send, what, you're saying 16 of our best?
We are too hurt, and it is too soon.
To be fair, none of that would be an issue if this is me with the game over here. Glasses. Actually, in the game, the herd didn't come to Jackson. The herd only followed. When it happens, the herd doesn't go anywhere near Jackson. If they had stuck to the game, I mean, then there wouldn't be any need for that argument over there. The context of the show, she's 100% right. Oh,
Next is Carlisle.
oh, bacon sandwiches over there. Seth, you got anything to say?
I'll be quick. This one's simple to me.
I know that actor. I think I do. If he's who I think it is, I like him.
So why wouldn't we want to take our vengeance? Because we're not supposed to. Forgive and be forgiven. No grudges, no revenge. And I'm not even a Christian. I've always seen the wisdom in that. That's what separates us from the raiders and the murderers. Our capacity for mercy. Those sons of bitches don't deserve our mercy.
Oh,
Well, of course they don't deserve it. That's
okay,
what makes it
Seth.
mercy. Well, to hell with that.
Some character development here.
To hell with you for saying it, Carlisle.
Seth, sit down.
No.
You're not on the list.
No! What the hell are we all talking about here? Boo-hoo, it's not fair. What, we gotta forgive everybody when they show up and piss in our eye?
Okay, bacon sandwich.
They came into our house. They took one of ours. My God, somebody shoots your brother. You want to take the locks off your doors? Grow up! You idiots. They'll come back. They'll come back because we didn't make them pay. And when they come back, they'll be laughing. And you'll all deserve it. Bunch of damn victims.
Okay, I don't like the victim shaming, but maybe we settle down a little bit. They put her last on the list. All right, here you go. Matt Murdock on the, not even Matt Murdock. We got Foggy Nelson on the defense stand here. I do like how they brought up that argument at the town hall meeting, which is the whole conversation about, you know, the cost of vengeance, right? I like how they're talking about it, and they're already addressing both sides of the equation here. And this is literally like the fan base, people online or that are watching at home, the ones that are going between like, oh, it's a shame what happened, but Jackson has to rebuild. Someone else being like, well, what's the point of going after them? It's just going to be blood for blood, eye for an eye. And then of course the rageful, indignant ones that are like, they came into our house and pissed in our eye. But yeah, that's the conversation the whole game brings up, is like, what is vengeance? You know, righteous vengeance. Is it necessary? Is it something that you need to do? And if you feel like you have to do it, the cost of it. Because there's always a cost. There's always a price to pay. Let me guess. She's going to start reading from her notes, but then she's going to go off script.
I normally don't write things down because I normally don't think before I talk, which has gotten me in trouble before. A lot. And it's cost me in ways that sometimes couldn't be undone. But I can't afford that right now because I know what I'm asking is a lot. I'm asking us to risk more people and resources and at the worst possible time. And I want everyone to know. It's not because I want revenge. It's not. It's not about revenge. What I want is what you used to give people.
Justice.
I want justice. Because it's either that, or we do nothing. That's what everyone else out there is going to do for us.
I'm glad she's sticking to the
Nothing.
script.
A whole world of people who won't lift a finger if something bad happens to me or you. We have a word for these people. They're called strangers. Well, I don't think that we're strangers to each other. And I want to know that I can count on you. And I swear, if someone hurts any of you or the people you love, you can count on me. That's what holds all this together. Not potluck dinners or New Year's Eve dances.
Those are nice, though.
Definitely not a wall, because that thing got busted through. But Jackson is still here.
That's true. The people held
I'll
it
accept
together.
whatever the council decides. But I am asking you, please, do what it takes to see that justice is done.
That's
Not for me. Not even for Joel. I am asking you, please, do it for us.
I like this approach. That is another line of discussion right there. It not I mean, for her, it is vengeance. For her and her character, that's the whole plot, is vengeance. But right now, it's vengeance masquerading as justice. But that's a fair argument, because that is a point. Like justice. That's the kind of like what that's what a lot of our society hinges on. That's the whole the justice system, crime and punishment. Jail systems, for better or for worse, whether it's or execution or police going after somebody who's committed crimes and atrocities. It's justice, right? That's a more fair ask than saying pursuit of vengeance for someone we lost, but just justice for a crime that was committed. But at the same time, Joel also is a man who committed many crimes. And so wouldn't you also, someone could make an argument saying that what happened to Joel might have been justice. And again, justice, vengeance, are they two sides of the same coin here? Feeding into the same cycle? Ellie goes over and takes out Abby, right? So theoretically killing Abby is justice for her killing Joel, but Abby killing Joel was justice for Joel killing the father, and then Joel killing the father was justice for Ellie, was in a way justice for the world killing Sarah and taking her away. People would often say after the game came out and he made his decision, very controversial at that, is the world took everything from Joel, so Joel took everything from the world. But I'm glad she wrote her thoughts down and stuck to it. I'm glad that, see, this is good adaptation. Again, Jackson feels like a living, breathing. It's not just a place, not just a setting that Ellie is in for the first few hours of the game and then off to Seattle, away from. Jackson feels like a community. There's people, there's society, there's people that are affected by this, the multiple people in different capacities that feel different ways about it. There's a council, there's Tommy on it, Jesse getting a place on it. You're giving Tommy more screen time, you're fleshing out Jesse's character more. This is good adaptation. You're really, I love this right here. I love it. It's great. My prediction is that they're gonna vote against, and then Ellie's gonna go against that and go herself. And Tommy will be upset with the small council. He might leave first still, which is canonical to the game. And then Ellie and Dina will eventually head there. One way or another, unless they really flip the script and send a whole posse of 16 people, which would again be a major deviation from the game, but
No.
oh.
No. 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 The proposal is rejected.
I'm guessing Tommy, Jesse, maybe Maria voted yes. Damn. Seth. Even Seth is getting more screen time. They're actually giving this show more development when even Bigot Sandwich gets more screen time. That's crazy.
Here we go, Nine. Here we go.
Oh, a flashback? For Gail?
I didn't know you were a fan.
She has a bottle of beer in the sun watching baseball. Is this in Jackson? Do they have sports teams? But again, this is the I love. More, flesh out Tommy's character even more. Give him more screen time. And this Gale person.
I spotted you in the crowd at the meeting today.
But you're not here because you're worried about me.
You see things others don't. I'm nervous she's gonna do something stupid.
What, you didn't believe her speech?
Did you?
Of course not. She's a liar.
Well, there's a difference between lying and being a liar.
Oh, I know.
That's
and
true.
That one, liar. It was maybe one person she told the truth to, and but we can agree to disagree about that.
there's a difference between lying and being a liar. I love that, actually. I mean, I'm always like, as a avid fan of Telltale Games and all their games and decision-based gaming, I'm always a truth at all costs kind of person. But sometimes, yes, there's a difference between like telling a lie, like lying, and being a liar. I think my prediction of this being like, at the end of the episode, she's going to go off for Seattle. That's going to be how it proceeds, I think. Odd cut, though. I don't know how I feel about I mean, the Seraph, that being the introduction for the Seraphites, like, what an odd choice.
I just don't want her to go down the same paths that Joel did, coming up with justifications and such. All he was really doing was lashing out.
So you think she might have learned that behavior from him?
He knows his brother.
Turns out nurture can only do this much.
Huh.
The rest is nature. If she's on a path, it's not one that Joel put her on. No. I think they were walking side by side from the very start. You inherited her, and you want to keep her out of trouble. Take it from a psychotherapist of 40 years. Some people just can't be saved.
Oh, upgrade. Gonna tweak the firing. Speed loader. There we go. Yeah, she did her upgrade tree. Gotta get the firing pin all situated. Oh, that's the Seattle outfit, isn't it? The button up over the shirt. Uh-oh.
Who is it?
She has everything ready. She's already found all of her weapons. She's got her sidearm. She has her long guns. Got her supplements and all that. She's good to go. People were like, Bella Ramsey doesn't look older or more mature. I think that honestly, she's portraying the grief and trauma a little bit better. Not right now. There's still kind of like the goofiness here and there, but somehow with that Ellie hairstyle, like to me, she does look different. She looks older. Maybe I'm just like huffing copium, but I'm coming with you.
So, what's your plan?
Go to Seattle and kill Abby.
And is that all guns, or do you have medical supplies in there?
Okay, so what am I supposed to do?
Dean is a real one, though.
Stay off the highways, stay clear of cities or settlements. First stage is through the National Forest. Once we're out, we'll follow the Snake River
We're
Canyon,
out.
then break off through the Snoqualmie Pass.
Snoqualmie?
Yeah, Snoqualmie.
We.
Travel light but smart. Winter coats for beds, jackets for blankets. First
That's so sweet. See, you know Dina really cares about her because she knew Ellie was gonna go off in this wild crusade no matter what. So she, instead of trying to stop her, she's like, I'm gonna be there to help. I love her. I want to support her. I want to try to help her out. So she got all the planning out of the way. Oh,
Day
bless
kids,
her.
batteries, bear spray. Now, handguns. What are you bringing? Is that Joel's?
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna kill him.
Right.
That's what I said, yo. See, again, this is good. This is good adaptation. Like I was saying, like I literally, like they watched my playthrough. I was like, this is the gun I'm gonna do it with. Like, yeah. At that point, I'm not even concerned about subtlety or whatever. I'm like, yeah, damn straight. That's what we all thought right up here in our Concord. That's what we were thinking.
Save it for that.
I love that
Slow
addition.
and kicks like hell.
Just Shimmer?
Yeah, we share a horse. Fewer resources. Boots.
Love
Love the Converse. Respect your consistency, but you're not crossing open country in f***ing Chucks.
I've done it before.
No Chucks.
How the f are we gonna get all of this?
I know, guy.
No, don't tell me you told Jesse, please.
Captain Wyoming? No. I love the man, but he's a little uptight about rules and shit.
Yeah, but he still got you
Wear all the
pregnant,
clothes you're
right?
gonna bring.
Thank you.
You know, you could have just asked.
No, I actually didn't know that.
Like I said, Dina's a real one. Similar but different, and these differences are, I mean, personally to me, my opinion, okay. I don't mind this being the way they execute it for the show's sake. I see a third figure there. Seth? Ain't no way you're coming along. Get out of town. Get out of town. That is kind of sweet, though. Oh, he's just giving it to her.
It's better. Trade.
Look at this. I joked last episode. Ye of little faith, a doubting Thomas, if you will. I joked about them giving, of all people, Seth more screen time. And this to be a legitimate, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a character arc, but to give him more to do in the sense where, like, he speaks up in a town meeting. Perhaps he actually has genuine regret, and instead of just offering half-hearted steak sandwiches as like a seemingly forced thank you by Maria, he comes out here and doesn't spill the beans. Just comes out here and is like, here's a better rifle. You know, I can't do much in my condition, but good luck and Godspeed. Like, I get some vengeance, get some justice for us all. That's, again, good. I like that. I like that addition a lot. Gave her a better rifle. Now that is the I'm sorry right there. That's like a, hey, I was a dick. I want the same thing you want. Here's this that will genuinely help you on your journey.
Janine's night watch at the stables. She's sympathetic to our cause.
Our cause?
Our cause.
You're the one that gave the us speech, not me. Saddlebags are filled with stuff I had squirreled away. 2 weeks worth of hardtack, bandages, alcohol, meds, batteries. I'd come with you, but I caught some friendly fire on New Year's Day.
Damn.
Sure is friendly. Jesus Christ.
You got 10 minutes before patrol comes by.
Sure it was friendly.
Let's get you going.
Is he trying to insinuate because Joel pushed him down that he got hurt so he can't come with? Still, that is a legitimate help right there. I said a hateful thing at New Year's Eve, and me making up for it is helping you on your crusade. Here's a horse. Here's some supplies that I personally squirreled away. Here's a new rifle. Good luck. Like, that's, you know what? I like that addition a lot. Does it excuse the behavior? Like, perhaps not. Oh, and even more dialogue? Well, I'll be go to hell. In the words of Victor damn Sullivan. Nice. Bravo! See? I love that. I love that. You won me back. Last of us, you won me back. I still have my gripes, little gripes. Second episode, great episode, bit of a doozy. But you know what? This is great. And instead of it being a quick little visit on the way to the house, we get a full scene out here too. See, this looks more like the homestead that she eventually... Well, anyway, I mean, I won't speak on it too much here. Music from the game, love it. Oh, no. Oh my god. Oh no, don't do this to me. Kind of embarrassed what I had to trade for it, but it's not bad. Joel loved his coffee. Oh. Oh. I don't think I've ever cried at coffee beans before. So begins the true journey of Last of Us Part 2. I like this though with the music, the traveling. Now, when you read her journal, you just there was some hardship on the way. This seems like a pretty peaceful ride so far. So I was halfway right, because one of my first prediction was they wouldn't leave till the end of the episode, but my secondary prediction was they would head out like halfway through, and they would, by the time they arrive in Seattle, ooh, what are we gonna end on?
Clearly.
Oh, I see what we could be doing here. You know what? This is okay. This is like, what you call it, recompense? I don't know. It's no grow house love making scene prior to the trauma, but the fact that we're getting screen time of their voyage and their trip to Seattle, and I think this is where I think we're about to get our lovemaking scene. It's different. I'm glad we're still getting it, but I do wish it happened prior to Joel's demise rather than now. But the fact that we're still getting it, I like where this is headed. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. This tent's about to get a wee bit steamy.
Night.
Oh, perhaps not. I didn't hear no director say cut.
Okay, but I have a stupid question.
Oh?
It's about New Year's Eve. The kiss.
The kiss? Oh, do
Okay.
tell.
I mean,
How was it on a scale of 1 to 10?
how would you rate it?
Yeah, like a 6.
Scale of 1 to 10.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, 6.
Ah, there you go.
You 6.
It's not bad. That sucks.
Go back to Jesse.
Oh.
You already did.
Oh, we knew it.
Well, there you have it.
Can oo get pregante?
Does he ever strike you as sad?
Jesse?
Jesse?
Yeah. Has he ever told you why? No. But I think deep inside that's just how he is. At least I hope that's why.
Why would you hope that?
Well, because if it's not that, then it's me.
Well, it's not you, sweetheart.
Good night.
Oh. No, we're not. It's not over yet. We gotta pump up those numbers, get those stats up. A 6? Sorry, soldier, ain't gonna cut it.
It wasn't that high.
Oh, yeah? Oh, all right. You sons of bitches. Ooh, gonna find some dead scars? Seraphites, I'm sorry. I hear flies, so I think they're definitely dead.
He was running away.
Well, keep your guard up.
Different calibers. I don't think this was Fedra.
Oh, dead bodies. Ooh. Doesn't help that she's also
Okay.
pregnant.
This is just...
These are changes that I'm okay with. It's interesting, because this adds a certain factor of unpredictability now. Oh god. Oh, they gunned them all down. Oh, the kid too? We're gonna find a little girl? Which will galvanize Ellie and Dina even more against the wolves. Oh, damn. Alright, well, we're on the right trail.
I think it was a smell. It wasn't easy to look at either.
Yeah, just the bodies. Just the
If this was f***ing
the
them.
bodies. I like that there's like coverage of the trip leading up to it, and then we have this new bit with the scars, and then the discovery outside the city. Going through the forest, the tall trees. Oh, there we go. Yep. See, in the game, you pretty much just like cut to the woods right outside the highway, and then get to the highway. So the introduction, it's not really a full introduction for the scars, but seeing them this early
quiet.
is different, but
Yeah.
too quiet.
Curtis or Viper?
Both in all 4 movies.
9 more miles.
I'm sure she'll be waiting right there at the gates. You'll just see her sitting on a lawn chair, and you just go, pop, and then she's, oh, quest is over. Oh, wow, we're in it.
Wow. F***ing Seattle.
Oh, here you go.
Pretty.
Gonna find a shotgun in the bank?
Guess there aren't that many wolves.
Oh, you'd be
There's supposed to
surprised.
be a whole lot less.
The aquarium over there. Oh, here we are. Well, well, well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Manny.
Just give me a f***ing second. Jesus.
Oh, is he in the Space Needle?
You're all good.
That's different.
Move up.
I don't know if he is for sure, but if that's the case, it's another deviation because which is fine. I mean, that makes sense. But in the game, you almost think that because you're in Seattle, you're going to go to the Space Needle, and you see it once, and that's when there's so much flooding in the city of Seattle. I mean, there's like literally like torrents of rivers running through. I love the design of the levels, right? And then eventually you go to basically the Scars, the Seraphites have their own island, their base of operations. It's an island. Seattle's so flooded that there's like islands now instead of just, the city. And when you go there and you're like going through Seraphite territory, in the distance, you see the Space Needle there. So I don't know if that was the needle that he was in, but if it is, that's definitely a huge like change out from. And now there's the audience realization of how big the WLF is. Not just a few boys and girls, no siree. Anthony from Queer Eye. That's not just them either. Nice. Brown, 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 brown. That's like that's the track they end the second game with, I believe, but with like a guitar little bit. I like that. That's a good way. So now we made it to Seattle. We followed the path. We had the fallout in Jackson. The decisions being made. Halfway through, make the choice. Ellie and Dina go. I wonder. I feel like Tommy might try to follow. And then the path getting there, still no romance scene between them, which I'm really salty about, but all right. Oh, there's Isaac. Hey. Oh, God. Hey, yo, we get that scene. Damn. Oh, no. Ooh, okay. Up in the intensity. They do make it to the theater, though. I like this. All right, I'm here
Ellie
for it.
Is in pain.
No,
in physical pain because she was really hurt. But more than that, it's quite clear she hasn't left that room in a way.
Yeah.
She is still on the floor watching it happen.
Bro, is this 10 minutes of behind the scenes? All right.
I love episode 3. It does something that we just couldn't do in the game. In the game, after Joel dies, because the mechanics of the game are very action-oriented, the mourning period is relatively short. And here we could take almost an entire episode and really feel the loss of this character.
Good choice.
This really beautiful scene.
Good choice.
Where Tommy comes in and he has to clean up his brother's body.
Like I was saying,
I love that scene quite a bit.
Kudos.
I call it the one-man wake. It was definitely a very long night shooting that scene.
Pedro and Gabe are kind of like brothers, and you can see how much they love each other, and in a way it's like one character saying goodbye to his brother, but also another actor saying goodbye to someone that's really close to them.
That reminds me a lot of, I might throw a clip in here, but say what you want about the last season of Game of Thrones. I have my own complaints, big complaints, but there's the behind the scenes of when the actors are going over the scripts. They're doing like a table read. Not only when Daenerys goes down, but I know when like Jorah goes down, reading through those scenes, the way they were reading through it, the actors.
He has been slashed and stabbed, pummeled and pierced, but somehow he keeps fighting. Whites plunge their knives into him. He takes more punishment than Hodor took at the door, than Beric took in the Great Hall, and still somehow Jorah stands and defends his queen. Dany tries to rouse Jorah, but he is gone.
Because yeah, it's like a bond you get with your performers, and like these people are like family to you, and you're working with them and doing scenes with them. And not only do you bond as characters in some cases, but you bond as actors, because that's your scene partner, and that's somebody who you have that connection with. And so having the table reads between them and those emotional moments, it just like hits a lot, because you're like, man, this is somebody that like he was saying, like they're also friends, like borderline brothers on set.
There aren't many shows where you would build an entire house for a character who's just died, because normally that would be one of the hero sets and it'd be filmed relentlessly. The exterior had been seen and the interior had not, and we needed it because Ellie has to make a very moving, emotional journey through that house to kind of do her grieving in private.
Ellie's headspace at the beginning of episode 3 is dark. It's like the stages of grief, right? I think she's so broken and numb, and then becomes incredibly angry. Shooting the scenes in Joel's house were sad, really sad. There was a couple of takes where I really cried into his jacket.
I was operating that shot and I was crying.
I don't mean to keep giving her a hard time about this, but I like that she's twice now behind the scenes. She made a point to say, yeah, this actually made me cry. I'm like, as opposed to it was other things she shot where she's like, it was sad, but I wasn't really affected by it. But this was actually sad. It's not even a dig. It's just me just joshing her. But I just find it funny, her verbiage.
I was operating that shot and I was crying with her because it was so strong.
Uncomfortably close was one of my constant words. Being uncomfortably close to people so that their pain is so much more powerful.
I have a problem sometimes in television shows where a character we care about loses someone in a battle where a lot of people lose people, and those people matter too.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Part of the point of the story
attention
is
to detail.
The rebuild, and they're beginning that process. You know, rebuild, restructure, do it stronger, do it better.
I think losing Joel, it triggers a lot of emotions among the community.
Cover a GQ over here.
It's one thing to be barricaded and protected, but then when one of your own gets killed by an outsider, it strikes a nerve. And that is an impetus for some great changes going forward.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro is
recovering as a community. We have to move forward. And there's a town hall meeting, which is something that Neil and I thought would be an interesting addition to the way the plot unfolds in the game.
Agreed.
To give everyone a chance to comment on how this ought to go. And there are two very particular points of view that are articulated here.
I really love those
One
additions.
is the forgive and forget, and the other comes from a very unexpected person.
Yeah.
Seth.
We saw him be a bigot towards Ellie and Dina on episode 1. And here he is the one that is standing up to help Ellie. And
I can't believe I can't believe I joked, oh, what do you want to bet that in this show he gets more fleshed out a bit more, and the fact that they did it, it's great.
I don't think that'd be the case, but people are complicated, and a guy that's bigoted in one moment could still love Ellie and has still loved Joel and knows what happened to Joel was wrong.
I'm surprised.
So when Ellie has to come to the council and convince them all, she is very calculated about how she does it.
We see
she does
Ellie,
her best,
despite her instinct, try to slow things down because she just wants to say, F all of them. I want to pursue them to the ends of the earth and I want to make them pay. But she can't say that because that's not going to win her argument. She's trying to make the case that this is what's right for this community. This is what justice would look like. She's trying to appeal to Maria, who used to be a prosecutor And she's saying things that sound right, but not necessarily that she believes in.
When I first read that, I would think that Maria would say no.
Oh.
And then Craig gave me a little like hint. And then when I really thought about it, I was like, no, she said yes. She said absolutely.
I do like how it never confirms who voted yes, but I had a feeling it was Tommy, Maria, and Jesse, and it makes sense.
This is for sure a multiple camera situation. We had 4 cameras working. It's not only about getting coverage, it's also to get as much fresh performance from all the actors as you can.
It was massive. It was 6.5 pages, I think, which we shot all in one day.
Ooh.
It was just so much more powerful because you haven't got to go again and again and again for a single camera to be in all of those different places.
For me, as I was doing that speech,
It's the pro of multi-camera shoot.
It's times when I really got into it. She starts to sort of believe herself. It's still emotional, like the weight of it is still there.
Bella can read things like nobody else. As they say, I could watch Bella Ramsey read the phone book and I would be intrigued.
She's a great actor.
Dina's role for Ellie is vital because it kind of acts as a balancing part of it, or at least a voice of reason. Is there another way, or should we be thinking this differently? If it hadn't been for Dina, this episode would have been very short. She would have just packed her stuff and gone and not had enough stuff. But because of Dina, she's got everything she needs.
Dina's a ride or die. I was just like, yeah, this makes perfect sense. Like, of course, Dina would then plan it out and have a whole map, situation, everything. She supports Ellie through and through.
Sport class.
Dina says to Ellie,
every DPS main needs their support. I'm guilty of that myself, dude. Back when Overwatch was actually cool, like Pharah main all the way. I was almost always DPS. Like Pharah was my go-to. I was a Pharah main, ride or die. But if I had a good team comp to work with, Zarya, because I knew that my team had my back, and as long as I can keep that charge going, I'll melt those sons of bitches.
I loved him as well. It wasn't just you. And that, again, is another great moment for Dina, where you suddenly see some breaks going on a little bit, and an understanding in Ellie, which is easy to overlook.
For the first time, we get a glimpse of Seattle, and we meet these people that we don't know from our story here in the show.
Who could they be?
They appear to be religious in nature.
Indeed.
They talk about somebody called the Prophet. They seem peaceful. In fact, they are fleeing a war. And who do we meet leading this small procession? A father and his little girl.
Interesting. Okay, I see what they're going for now. I didn't even think about that. They said they were leaving, but I figured they were like just moving around. No, so literally those were... So he's implying they are Seraphites that believed in the cause, have become disillusioned. They still believe in their prophet and that theology, but they're trying to leave Seattle and leave the battle behind them.
And 2 is an extension of some of the stuff we've seen in season 1, which like different kinds of communities and what they had to go through to survive. And now we get to see this other group that survived through religion. To the people on the outside, they might appear as a cult. For them, they have certain values and certain beliefs that have kept them alive.
Here also on their path is a sense that their friendship is maybe more than friendship. Ellie's trying to figure it out. On the one hand, Dina sort of says it's not. And on the other hand, kind of says maybe it is. Hard to tell.
I'm not against the buildup, but I still miss my scene. I still miss my grow house, love den. But
Isabella and Bella were together a lot, and we were really just seeing the beginning of that. But there's a lot of scenes where we're just finding our way. They are finding their way.
But the two of them now are our pair.
I admire these behind the scenes featurettes because they have a way of showing you there's people actively filming and helping to make these shots work. I still don't feel a disconnection. It still just feels like the show. Even seeing people there helping to make the scenes work out. I guess because it's still through like the through the lens of a camera, right? It still just all feels so organic and diegetic.
But I wanted us to be able to grieve him too.
No.
To almost let myself go to a funeral for a moment, before allowing these characters to then progress to their final destination.
I think when Ellie loses Joel, she really becomes him, steps into his shoes. he was her hero and her role model, despite everything. It's basically like the equivalent of losing a father. It's losing the only person she ever had, the closest thing to family that she ever knew. It's like losing her entire world. And so in that, I think she becomes him.
It's lovely little things like Ellie puts the gun across her arms like Joel used to do. And having her at the front of the horse, not the back. All these little visual things that you're like, wow, just seeing it and seeing this new way of the show being alive. She's so focused, but the world is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's what a second season should do.
It's about why we survive. Not just that we survive, but why we're doing it. What are we doing it for? Who are we doing it for?
And at last they arrive in Seattle. It's oddly peaceful and oddly beautiful.
Sure. I do see the Space Needle over there.
Maybe this will be easy.
Oh, Craig, don't do that. Craig, you devious bastard. Oh, maybe this will be easy. He just goes, Man, oh man. See, that was excellent. That's what I mean. This is what I'm looking for in an adaptation, right? These changes to me don't dramatically affect the narrative. It's a good point. And behind the scenes really also puts it in perspective, right? The fact that, you know, and when you're playing the game, it does move pretty quickly. But with the show, you have time to really flesh out all of that. During the episode, I already talked about it all. But that's an excellent point, is that instead of just having a moment in the game where you like say goodbye at the grave and then go to his house directly after, they're, you know, buried outside of the cemetery. And then both Ellie, Dina, but also we as the audience get to have that moment out there, that kind of wake, as it were, a whole separate side scene where we get to grieve with her in that context. So like a lot of the actions about what happened, character moments, they expanded upon it. They fleshed it out more. They're taking their time with it. So while the game moves a bit quicker, it's smart. They're skillfully spreading this out. So I mean, Seattle, they're going to be in Seattle, I think, for, definitely a couple seasons. But, yeah, I like the way they're doing that. See, I really enjoyed episode 1. I thought it was good with great moments. Episode 2 is, you know, by itself a fantastic episode. I have my grievances, but that being said, it's still a fantastic episode. And then episode 3 is also, that was great. That was fantastic. I felt the fallout of what happened. New characters, old ones that never would have had any business getting any more scenes in the game, but somehow did in this show. Like, that was great. I loved it. That, in my opinion, is what is so strong about this show and why I loved season 1 so much. Again, I know you would think the way that I was ranting before in the last episode that that I wasn't enjoying it, but I really am. And this is a core example of why I love what Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann are creating together, is that in terms of adapting the game and expanding, fleshing out, making deviations, but deviations that ultimately serve the flow, progression, and narrative. You see me now. I'm acknowledging and giving credit to the show for doing what it's doing. Next week, we'll be just over halfway through, because there's, 7 episodes this season? So we've had Future Days, Through the Valley, and The Path. So, yeah, I'm still here for the whole ride. So thank you guys and gals so much for watching. If you aren't already subbed over on Patreon and you want full access, early access to these episodes, full uncut, uncensored, for better or for worse, with full HD, with video accompaniment and all that jazz, patreon.com/MovieMan101. You get full access to that. Of course, if you are on YouTube, that is still more than enough. If I didn't mention it at the beginning of this episode, I'm going to mention it now. But of course, another giveaway. There's a post on my Instagram at MovieMan101Pro, Last of Us themed, giveaway themed. It's one of the recent posts. Like that post. Make sure you're following the page. And I did with Interview with the Vampire, and like I'm going to do with White Lotus as well. But at the end of the season, on the season finale, I will do a drawing. Who out of the people that have liked the post and are following it, do a drawing, one random person. You will win a copy of Last of Us Season 2. Whether it's digital, whether you want to wait till physical is released, and then I'll get you a physical copy. You choose, but as a thank you to you guys and gals for the support, a raffle for a winner for a copy of the show. And then, of course, it helps me because, you know, the social media numbers and all that jazz. So thank you guys and gals so much for watching. And stay tuned for the next episode of The Last of Us. Have a good day. Have a good night. Let me know what you thought below, please. Let's discuss it below. And What more is there to say? Goodbye, travelers.